Hello, friends, and welcome. This is Alicia of the Chardon Sign Shack coming to you live from Chardon, Ohio. I think, anyhow. I'm trying to get live here, trying to get my secondary device up and running. Usually it takes me at least 3 times to get the comments working right. So as you're hopping on, please say hello. Please let me know where you're coming from. And let me get this going here. And it's not. So let me go back and see if I can get it. So as you're hopping on, please say hello, hello, hello. I appreciate it. Having a little trouble here. I always have trouble, like the first, I see I have 6 people on, but I always have trouble getting the comments to work. Hi, April. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Donna. And I'm still having troubles. Let's see here if I can get them working. I'm trying, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know why this is so difficult every single time. Like every single time I go live, I have trouble getting the comments to work. And I can tell right away, like I hit it, it's not going to work. And I don't know why. I apologize. I can see you on my one advice. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for sprinkling. We're going to have a prize finally. See, it's like the 4th or 5th time. If you've never done lives, you don't know probably what I'm talking about. Let me pick something here for a giveaway. I did not pick anything. And I have a whole bunch of stuff here out, so let me just pick something real quick for a giveaway. I am so sorry. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, this was one of my best sellers at the craft show, so I think this is going to be, oh, that's okay. People spell my name wrong. People say it wrong. I get it all. Don't even worry about that. Hello, fellow crafties. Hi, Roberta. Hi, Becky. Hi, Patty. So I can see comments right now. Thank you, Becca, for sprinkling. So if you sprinkle, let's go that way. Okay, now I've got my comments all up and running. So if you sprinkle, this is going to be the giveaway today. Thanksgiving. Bringing dysfunctional families together since 1621. I love this stencil. I put this one on towels. And I also, I think I put a little, no, it was this one. I put little turkey border underneath it. This is not a giveaway, but I did put this on towels just to show you. These were really good on towels, and these sold out. So people were really looking for Thanksgiving stuff at the craft show. I had people ask me if we had Thanksgiving stuff. But so this will be the giveaway. Because what are we not if we're not all like a little crazy, a little dysfunctional, a little bit, I'm a little bit of everything. So this is number 9125, and this is the extra small. But this goes great on a towel. And like I said, I mean, it can go great on anything, but I sold a lot of these at the craft show. We did, my sister and I. And then this was the other one, not a giveaway, but these were 2 very, very good sellers at the craft show. People really like the sense of humor ones. They, I prefer something with a sense of humor. So anyhow, sprinkle, which means to do this. If you don't know, please sprinkle us with anybody who you think would be a fun fellow crafter who would appreciate this kind of thing. So I'm going to set that aside. I'll show it a couple times throughout. This is my little board I make every time. And this is, the stencils are 10112, and it's a small, and 5321, and that's a small as well. And again, make sure to sprinkle. They are on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off. And then you can save an additional 15% with my code, so that'd make the total of the two 35% off. Sign Shack, SIGNSHACK is my code. And you can use that anytime you order to save 15%, anytime at all. So thank you, Maggie, for sprinkling. Thank you, Valerie. I'm going to set this down here on the ground, and we're going to get started because we have two projects today. And I thought they both would be, these were both ones that I was going to do for the craft show. I never got time to do them. So this is right here. This is a pumpkin, and my sister cut this at Sawdust Dogs. So if you want one just like this, you can message her, but she cut this for me, and it perfectly fits. Where are my stencils at? They're right here. I actually am somewhat organized, so this is the one we're going to do first. I love this stencil. It's very similar to this one that I did, this Hello Autumn. And I'm going to do it kind of along the same lines right there. This is a different pumpkin cutout specifically to fit that stencil. And then this one right here, Heather kind of cut to fit this stencil. So this is the pumpkin pie, fresh pumpkin pie, and I think this would look super cute sitting out by your pie station, like if you have a little pie station. I know one year, hi Ann, how are you? One year, not every year, but one year we were able to go to my sister's house for Thanksgiving, and we had such a fun time. And my sister is very much an entertainer. She's very good at that. And something like this would look great. We baked all kinds of pies, and she had like a little pie station. So something like this would look super cute at your pie station for Thanksgiving. Now I went ahead and I painted this. Hi Cindy, how are you? With chocolate. So this is Fusion Mineral chocolate right here, and that's what I painted it with. I think a very close Deco Arts color is, I don't think I have it out, but it's like bittersweet chocolate or traditional burnt umber, but I think bittersweet chocolate is a fairly close color. Like if you look at the color on the bottom there, it's pretty close. It's very dark, a very dark, and this is a very dark chocolate. It's got some purple in there. Sometimes you can see purple in it. But anyhow, I painted this ahead of time, and this will be a quick project. I've got my pumpkin cut out, and I'm just going to kind of center this where I want it. I may have to look at it for a minute to make sure, and then I'll turn it around. Of course, I want it, because the bottom is flat, so it sits real nice. But I am going to... I'll turn it back towards you, but I want to make sure the writing is kind of straight, because I'll stencil it towards you, but sometimes I get off when I do things towards you. I really like stenciling standing up. That's my preferred way of painting or doing anything when I'm crafting. Now, the thing about standing up is you have a much better view over it for things being straight, but I can still mess it up, so don't worry about that. That can happen. So I'm going to do this in chocolate and some Tuscan and mustard. So I've got this taped on so it doesn't shift. If you're new to stenciling or the stencil smith, you, let's just angle that down. You don't have to spray any adhesive on it. These are reusable. They're thick Mylar. They're 10 mil. You don't, like, this is a freebie. You get freebies with your orders, every order you place. And, oh, I didn't know that. A very good article in Painting World I haven't seen it yet. That's exciting. I'll have to go look. So April, the stencil smith, was finished in or featured in a magazine called Painting World. So apparently she didn't know it was, hey Sherry, how are you? She didn't know it was released yet, neither did I. But this is a real nice thick mylar. It's easy to clean, it's reusable, they never wear out. So you can use them over and over and over again. So I am gonna put a little bit of this Fusion Mineral Tuscan out on my plate, and some mustard. I need to get a shop towel. I do like to offload on shop towels. You can use paper plates are a little slick. They don't offload as good at all, but you could use paper towels, regular paper towels. You could use coffee filters. You could use this kind of paper. But I really like shop towels. They go a long way. And let me get so I am gonna get, I think, I'm not sure what size here, maybe a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna test it first. I wanna make sure, because these outer ones, these outer thinner curly cues, I'm gonna do in mustard, I think, these guys. But the words, I think I could get by with a 1/2 inch and then perhaps a 3/8 inch for the smaller curly cues. And if you have not used the Stencil Smith brushes yet, I highly recommend them. Hi Judy, how are you? They are amazing. They're the best brushes ever. I've used every brush that I could ever imagine. These are very soft, very dense. It goes on similar to like a sponging effect. It covers really, really nicely. So if you're new to stenciling as well, you're going to want to pick up a little bit of paint on your brush, just on the tip. You can see where it's a little goopy. And then you're going to dry brush. So what you're going to do, it seems strange, but you're going to put paint on and then you're going to take it off. If you don't take enough paint off, you're going to have bleeds. So you just rub that into your shop towel there. And some people even use like a regular towel, like an old shop towel or something like that. So I'm going to use, I probably should do a coat of gray. Darn it. So let me get a baggie. This is such a dark brown. Let me get a baggie. All my baggies are gone. And I'm going to put my brush in a baggie. So I'm getting ahead of myself. This is such a dark color. I do want to do a gray color over this because it'll make those colors. And as soon as I laid my orange down, I realized that it's not going to pop super great unless I put a coat of gray or white. I prefer gray. So I'm just going to put a coat of gray over this entire board here. So let me get, that brush is too big. See if I get another 1 incher out here. All my brushes are out and I forgot to put them up. There we go. There's a 1/2 incher. No, it's 5/8. Well, that's okay. So I'm going to get a little bit of gray and I'm just going to grab my Deco Arts gray down here. I use this all the time, this slate gray. And I'm going to do a coat of that and then we'll go on to the other colors. Just because if you have a dark brown, like a dark navy, anything like that, it's hard to get the colors to pop off the wood. So let's just go around with a coat of gray here. And like I said, this is slate gray. I use, if I have this out, Paisley is a really, it's a fusion color, but if you have this out and happen to be working with it, or even a lavender would be good. You could use any of those lighter colors. I like these better than white. It seems like using the gray, I know when you use the white oftentimes you get like a line, like kind of a bright white line where even though you haven't moved the stencil, that it shows, and that's fine. You can fill that in with like a liner pen if you want, or a liner brush. I do not do that. Lots of times I just let it go, and I think it gives it like a little extra pop, like it's dimensional, it's meant to be, but it really bothers some people, and this gray doesn't seem to do that, and neither does like that light blue. I've used lavender a couple times. I don't think that's done it before either. So let's just get this in here. And I love this font, and this is another one that April hand drew, which, give her a big applause. Her and Pete designed their stencils. They're a husband and wife team. They are amazing people. They run their company the way every company should be run. They are just really, really amazing. So, and if you have not sprinkled, make sure to sprinkle, which means to do this. So you have a chance of winning this, and make sure to write sprinkled in the comments if you wouldn't mind. That would be wonderful. So I'm going to give this a quick little dry here. I got my little quiet dryer out. I did remember to get my water. I wasn't sure. You can use your dryer over, and you do such a beautiful job, April. You can use your dryer on your stencil. Just make sure to move it around. Don't leave it in one place, because you can warp your stencil. I have never done it, but my grandson did do it once by accident. So I found those at Michael's. That is right, Bonnie. They have them at Michael's. I've used these, but they seem to tend to dry up on me when I use these little guys. But these work really well. The whole trick, though, is getting them in the bottle. So I'm going to use some Tuscan here. And again, I'm going to start here. And I think I'm going to go around. I might come back and get those dots in yellow. But this inner, I think I'm going to do in Tuscan here. Just like so. These outer real small ones, I think I'm going to do in mustard. I'm going to mix it up just a little bit, not make it all Tuscan. But you could definitely make it all one color. I'm just trying to determine where the smaller lines are. And if you do close your bridges, like on this wording, I would recommend using gray and then going over it with the Tuscan so it matches, because it will be different if you don't. So I am just swirling this in here. And I think I'm going to leave this yellow, mustard. So let's get some mustard out here on my plate. And you can put your brushes in a baggie with a wet wipe, and it helps keep them nice and fresh so they don't dry out. The paint doesn't dry on it. And so let's get some mustard. And get some of that out. And this is a bottle I got from the Dollar Tree. And they either work really good or they work really bad. One or the other. There's no in between with these. So I'm going to get a little bit of this mustard, and I am going to offload this right here onto my shop towel, just like so, by swirling it in there so you have a dry brush. And I am going to go around these outer, thinner ones like that. And I don't even know if this, I think this will look good, but I'm not sure. I didn't do any tests before or anything like that. Sometimes I do things and I don't like them, and I change the colors a bunch of times. I don't know if anybody else does that. It's funny how you think something is going to work and then it doesn't. And this may not look good at all, but I think it will. I know it looked good, the mustard and the Tuscan on the other pumpkin I did. So hope everybody had a great, hi Kelly, how are you? Yes, the gray I think works a lot better than the white. I really like it. So I'm just going around all these outer thinner ones in mustard. And I think I'm going to include this guy right here. And this one, even though I did it in, okay, so now we need to do another pumpkin, another swath of the pumpkin. So we're gonna get 2 projects done today. Like I said, these were 2 projects that I wanted to get done for our craft show. Did not get them done. And let me give it a quick little dry here just to make sure everything's nice and dry. But that happens. I would imagine you just run out of time. Oh, well, I'm glad. That's a good problem to have, Judy. Awesome. Oh, no, you've been sick, Kelly. You're always changing colors, Patty. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Sometimes I feel like a crazy person, but then something just clicks and it works. So let's get another coat of this here. I don't know if I should do the little dots. I'll pull it up and I'll see. I'll judge before I show you guys, before I reveal it. But we went to the Finger Lakes we left Wednesday, the day after the live, and we had a ball. It was so beautiful there. We went to Letchworth. Anybody who's from New York, Letchworth State Park, and then we went to Watkins Glen State Park, and then we went to another waterfalls that I can't even try to pronounce or pretend that I could pronounce those waterfalls at all. So, but it's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful area. We were really amazed. She's still knocking out those cardinals. That's awesome. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you for sprinkling. If you sprinkle, you get entered into the contest. So, see, I keep painting that over orange, those little dots there. And this may not look good. Let me take a peek. I'm going to take a peek before I put the other coat of mustard on it, and we'll see if I'm liking it. I am liking it like that. So that's going to look pretty cool. I think the 2 colors. And you could definitely do it in just 1 color. So I'm going to get some more mustard on my brush. And again, it's just you get a little bit and then you're going to offload. Offloading is the key to not having bleeds. And I still get bleeds. I still mess up. It happens. I think possibly on the one I did last Thursday, I feel like I had a bleed on that one on the ghost, but I don't know for certain. So let's just swoosh that in there, dance it around. I swear, I think stenciling is so therapeutic. I just love coming out here in the garage and turning on my music, singing, and stenciling. It's just so much fun. So we went on one of those. Thank you for sprinkling, Dorothy. Thank you, Rhonda. Has anybody been on those? They're like the big recumbent bikes, and you put 2 people in them, and you go down the old railroad tracks on them. It's not paved. It's like the actual old tracks. And they are, my husband and I did that while we were there. That was one of the things we did. And it was a lot of fun. it was a lot of work. On the way there, we're like, man, this isn't hard at all. And then we realized it wasn't hard because it was all downhill. So that meant coming back was all uphill, and we were leading the pack on the way back. So it was quite, you know, it was a lot of pressure, I felt. A lot of pressure. So let me take a peek here. I think we've got enough coats on. Oh, I like that a lot. So I'm going to take this off. So how cute is this going to look? I'm going to do just a little bit of sanding around it, distressing around the edges, but look how pretty that is on that pumpkin. And we'll put some raffia around here. So let me just set my paint off to the side, so if I sand it, I don't. And I'll probably come back after the live. I'm not going to do it right now. I might do it on my next one, but I don't want to do both because it'd be redundant and it'd be the same thing. So I'm just going to take my little gator sander, and I am going to sand like around the edges, distress them a little bit. Like so. And you do want to, like I said, move your paint, because if you don't, then you can get all this dust in your paint. So, but I just think that adds, I don't know, I like distressing things. The first couple times I did distressing, it was very hard for me because you work so hard to get everything just perfect. And then you start sanding something, and it can be a bit like, oh, what am I doing? But I've learned to just let go, and I do really like a distressed edge a lot. Kind of feel like that sums up my life sometimes. Probably a lot of us feel that way, right? So let's just get the distressed edges. And I'm just going to wipe this off, and I am also going to wipe this off, but I'm going to go around. So there's like some bumps kind of around this, and so I'm going to kind of like, I might actually have to put, because this is the finest sander, so I think I'm going to get the medium guy out, paper, because I feel like I need him. There we go. So you can kind of distress where like the bumps are. And that looks kind of cool. You know, if you distress around there, just where there's a couple little bumps and stuff. I just like distressing. I almost need the heavy. And I only put one paint of chocolate on this. And then get a couple, see the bumps here, get on those bumps. And I think that really makes it just look super cool. Maybe getting the cracks and crevices. And you can just keep working with it however you want it. But see how that distresses it just a little bit around the edges. And then you could definitely go over it either with paper, which I don't have any out, I don't think, but you could also take your real light sandpaper and kind of course, after it dries, and just go over it and like distress it just a little bit. Mess her up there just a little bit. And then I would wax this with my Dixie Belle wax, which I'm not going to do right now. And it's just like the Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. This is the wax that I use right here. I absolutely love it. And it gives it a really pretty sheen. This Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax Clear. It's very big. It lasts a long time. I've had this for a couple years and I've used the heck out of it, and I still have quite a bit left. But it just gives it a really pretty sheen, and I'm going to get some raffia out here. Might have to cut some. Find my scissors. I'm going to use my fabric scissors on these. My sister Heather got me fabric scissors. She was trying to cut some fabric at my house one day. And the next thing I know, I had a pair of fabric scissors. She's like, oh no. And I don't know, honestly, because I was trying to use, I cut leather and I used a razor knife to cut leather for this project. The next project that I'm going to do. And I don't think you can use fabric scissors on leather. It would probably dull it. And I did not use them, Heather. I did not use them on leather. So you could either put it so the bow comes in the front, or see, like this one, I have the bow in the back because it's double-sided. But this is so frilly, I felt like the plain, and it has it on the stem here. But I think on this one, I am going to use, and April hand drew that one as well. Oh, thank you so much. So I'm just going to tie some here. Yeah, my brushes are, that was another idea. I know I talk about my sister a lot here, but like, she has some really wonderful organization tips. She missed her calling. I don't know if you saw my picture on Facebook the other day. I came back and I have like a drawer, a couple drawers in my butler's pantry. And it's really a butler's pantry, but that's what we call it. We get a lot of kicks out of that. And so just trim that up here a little bit. And you could do a ribbon or some twine. Whatever you really wanted to do here. But I like the raffia, the look of the raffia. But I came home and she had organized my drawer for me, bought dividers for it, organized my drawer, and I opened it and left me a note. And we used to watch, I don't know if it was the OC or not Gilmore Girls. It was the OC or I think it was the OC or Gossip Girl. And since a long time ago, we would start our names with A and H, our notes. We didn't write our name, but she wrote A, couldn't take it anymore, love H. So she organized my whole drawer for me, and it's just, it's amazing. But look how cute that would be. And like I said, I do want to, so this would be something cute. I will wax it after the live, and that'll put a really nice sheen. And if you just kind of look here, these are the same colors, so look like at the sheen on that compared to this. So it just really, really makes the colors pop, even though it is distressed. But how cute would that be on your table with your pies? I think that would be really cute. And you could have apple pies. We do apple, pecan, and pumpkin. But I think that's super cute. So that's a really easy one that she did. So I'm going to set this one to the side, and we're going to do one more. And remember that this is on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off, and you'll save an additional 15% with my code SignShack. She did do an excellent job. So I'm going to set that to the side. And, you know what, I'll just set it up here on my shelf. Okay, let's get my next one. So this next one is a tray that I was going to make this before the live, and I did not. So this is I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you in a minute what it is. 1x6. It's a 1x6, and it's a scrap piece I had left, but it worked perfect. So it's cut 21 inches long. So it's a 1x6 cut 21 inches long. And I was going to do the wax resist distressing, but I think instead I decided, like right before the live, I am going to do just the chippy brush look on this. So this is painted, I think it's Evergreen. Is that what it is? No, Everett. So this is painted Fusion Mineral Everett, which is a green, but it looks almost gray. So see how it's like a green color, but it's got a lot of gray in it too. So, and this is one of my favorite colors that I use when I'm doing this chippy look. And so my stencil, this is the one that's on sale, and this is the small will go here, and I have leather straps that are going to go over for this long skinny tray, which I think would be a little different for Thanksgiving than the big fat ones. And by the way, trays did sell really good at the craft show. If you remember, probably about a month ago, we did the Harvest Moon, the Harvest Pie tray with the moon. That sold almost right away. That little riser one I did with the sun and the overlay on it that was so pretty. I forget what it said, but it had little sunflowers on it. That sold right away. So trays did really well, towels did really well, rounds did really well, and a lot of different things. Sunflowers in general were great. The sunflower cutout that my sister does from the sunflower mandala sold really well. She made a couple of those, and those sold great. So I'm going to get a chip brush, and I am going to get some raw silk out here. You just joined. You also distress that you use. You can get it online. I do use an electric one too, but just for little things like that, I typically use the hand sander. Number one, because I'm always afraid I'm going to go too far. You know, like that Bridge Too Far, that movie, I feel like that's going to be me with the hand sander. But I have used the hand sander before. Oh no, okay, Sherry. We'll miss you. We'll miss you doing the drums, but have a good day, and I hope all your blood test comes back really good. So this is Fusion Mineral Raw Silk, was just like an off-white. And this is one of the colors I'm going to use, the main one. And I'm going to just put some out here. And I'm going to dip my chip brush in there. So it's kind of like that. And I am just going to start running it up and down. Got some on there with my dark background. Up and down the board. Just like so. And if you go too far with it, I'm just going to dip it in again. You can always go back and add a little bit of your base color. But I do want to get quite a bit with just some of the dark color peeping through, if that makes sense. And then I might add a little bit of that mustard into it. And I'm going to get a little bit more of that raw silk out and put it on my chip brush and just start slapping away or chipping away, if you want to be funny. I don't come up with the best jokes. So yes, so if you live in that Finger Lakes area or Letchworth Park area, wow, what an absolutely beautiful area. So see how we're just distressing that board, and it kind of makes it look like it's been laying around for quite a while. And you could do this, like I said, with a wax resist. I was going to do the wax resist, but I don't know, at the last minute I decided to do it like this. And you just go all the way through with it. You don't want to like stop. And I am going to give it a quick dry, and I'm going to add a little bit of, I think, the mustard in this too, but just a wee little bit. So let me find my baggie here, and I'm going to just set this in here. I love chippy and weathered. I like vintage. I like anything like that. It's such a pretty look. And I think it'll look really pretty with these leather handles. I don't know if you saw, I think my sister put it on Paint and Share, and she did the round, and we had done the leather handles for our boxes, and usually we do the twine wrapped rebar ties for a hanger, and she put leather as a hanger, and it looked really good. It really elevated the look. But it looks really pretty, and I just remembered too, I am going to have to bring it over here on the sides. See, I didn't do that, so that would look silly if I didn't do that. So let me get my white brush, and I will add some on the sides too. Let me get my brush before I begin on the, definitely got it. And then let's get the other side. I need a little bit more of that raw silk out. And if you haven't sprinkled, please sprinkle. We would really appreciate it. It helps the stencil smith grow. It helps me grow. We want to sprinkle the love of the stencil smith. I know all of you out there, if you have bought from them, or anything like that before, you are a fan. You just know just how fabulous they are. They're a husband and wife team. Yeah, there we go. And so they're a small business, very small business, and they cut all the stencils to order, so everything is always in stock, which is just absolutely wonderful. Let me give it another quick dry right here. And I'm going to add a little bit of, you don't want to be mushing all the paint around and having like a mud color. You know how that happens. So I'm going to get a smaller little brush here, and I'm going to get a little bit of this mustard. And I'm going to add some of that in there. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. And then I'll probably go back and add a little bit more of the white. But I definitely like that mustard with it. So you could just layer the paints. That's really pretty. So you can see kind of how pretty that is. You could do some browns on here, would be pretty. And I'm going to go back, and I am going to get my raw silk, and I'm going to add. I know, you know what's really funny? I know, so the first time we did the leather handles, I sent a picture because my sister made this box, and I showed her the leather handles that I wanted, and she sent them. But I still have them here, but it was suede. So it was real floppy. Like she sent them, it had the holes pre-drilled, everything. They were really nice. But I wanted something that stood up. So I ran up to Walmart and I got kids' belts and cut them up for that project, and they worked just fine. But this leather is from Amazon, and I will put a link after the live. And I'm going to add some more raw silk here. Got to get some more out of my plate. We finally had a cool down, but it's still, we had some rain yesterday, which we were in a drought. Boy, are they up in New York. They're definitely in a drought. The area we were at, the waterfalls, everybody's like, oh, you see this waterfall? And we did, but they were kind of a trickle because they were pretty dried up. Everything was pretty dried up. Get a little bit more there. Get a little bit more there on the inner where I'm going to put the stencil. Okay, so that's got the white with the gray-green background, and it's got a little bit, if you can see, a little bit of that mustard peeking through, which looks really pretty. Gives it like a nice kind of patina look. Okay, so let me get my stencil. And I want to take a peek here. And I think that'll work perfect the way it is. So let me set that aside. And this is the small. Both the stencils I'm using today are smalls. And that's another thing you can always get. Here comes another one. I know I've got my mine almost ready. It's been pouring here in PA. It's probably what we had yesterday, Janet. It was rainy here yesterday. We didn't think it was going to rain because we've been really like in a severe drought, and we finally, thank you, April. We finally got some rain. Yes, another thrift store item to look for: old belts, old spindles. I've seen a lot of crafts lately too with like old sewing machine, like the threads, like where you can make Christmas trees out of them, and it's really cool. I watch a lot of videos, guys. I'm sure you guys do too. So let's give this a nice dry. We got to get it nice and dry before we start stenciling on it. It's still a little wet down here. It's a little bit of a longer board, so I might have to turn it this way to stencil it. And I think I'm going to use this ash, not just straight black. Ash is like a charcoal color. Oh, that's awesome. Rain and bad storms tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, it's been very dry. You watch my videos, Roberta. I love it. Thank you, everybody who takes time out of their day to be here and to watch and to support me and to support April and Pete. We do really appreciate it so much. We're very thankful for that. I just think once you go Stencil Smith, you never go back. It's just, they're like the best stencil company out there. And the selection you can't beat. So this is what it's going to look before we start. So it already looks, just with that little technique there, which is super easy, it already looks like it's been weathered, it's sat out. And I am going to bring it back here. Hopefully we can fit the whole stencil on. Otherwise I may turn it. We'll just move it around. So let me get some tape here. And I actually want to kind of make sure this is, usually I eyeball it, but I'm putting these straps on, almost 1 3/4. Okay, it needs to come down a little bit this way. Just a wee little bit. Boy, we've been watching the, Hurricane Katrina thing on Netflix, and oh, we have the 3rd episode to watch tonight. I forgot all about that. One of my best friends that I actually met in Jazzercise years ago, she was from New Orleans, and she had came up here because she lost her house, she lost her job in Hurricane Katrina, and we're still friends to this day. She came to my craft show, and we're gonna go to see a play here real soon, the Crucible. We have a little playhouse uptown, so I'm excited about that. So this is ash. This is, I don't have it in a little cup, so I'm gonna just dip a little bit out with my brush. And it's a real pretty soft black. It's kind of like a charcoal. So let me get I'm gonna get, I think, I really don't need a 5/8. Let's get a 1/2 inch here. This is the 1/2 inch. Yeah, we just need like a 1/2 inch. And I don't know what happened to my shop towel. There it is. There we are. So I'm just gonna dip it in there and get a little bit on there. Way more than I need. And I'm gonna offload. And this is a 1/2 inch stencil brush. And I'm gonna start, let's see, right down here. Stenciling that in here. And I am outside, so you can probably hear like the cars go by and stuff like that. I apologize. I love crafting out in the garage. Just in the winter I have heat. Now in the summer it was rather rough this year because of the heat, the humidity, but I just, I love seeing the sunshine pouring in the garage. And like right now the leaves are blowing around the driveway. We're already losing quite a bit of leaves. And I have offloaded this, and I am swirling that in here, just like so. And I'll probably do 2 coats. I'll probably close the bridges on this and do a little light distressing sand on it. I don't want it to be perfect at all because of the background. I want the letters to kind of look like it's been weathered too. But I want to start with a nice strong base first. And it's that simple. Let's give this a nice little dry here. I know, it's so great, and even if those sizes don't work for you, she can always get you the size you need, just like Lita said. Did you, Angelia? I can't even imagine how horrible that was. Yeah, she grew up in New Orleans. Her family had been there. She still has family down there, but for her, that was just like the sign that she needed to come up this way. But I did get a very good friend out of it. We met and we just became instant friends. You know how you meet some people and it's just that way? But they say your vibe attracts your tribe. I felt like that way with Trisha. And her last name's Landry, which I think sounds very like Southern. I probably shouldn't be saying her name on here, but I think it's okay. So I'm doing this second coat. Like I said, this is a ash color. This is a real, it's a black, but it's a very soft black. Kind of charcoaly. I actually painted my porch in this color, and it looks really pretty. This ash with the gray, with, of course, everybody's agreeable gray. I'm going to do a second coat here. And I might do just a little pop of cranberry over the berries. Just a wee little pop over the little berries with one of the micro brushes. And we'll get our liner brush out, and I'll show you how to, it is Southern. I thought it was. She's very Southern. She still has that New Orleans accent. I mean, it's like my dad. I'm originally from West Virginia. My dad, I don't know if I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a micro. So my dad's from West Virginia. But I was just there for the first year or two of my life, and I don't think I got really an accent, not like my parents. Now, if you would hear my dad's been in Ohio since he's off and on since he's been, oh, in his teenage years. He went back and forth. After he got out of Vietnam, he tried to make it work in. So I'm going to go over these little berries. I don't even know if it's going to show up that much. With just a little pop of red there. But he has a very, very thick accent. And my mom did too. I remember her telling me, and I doubt they still call it this today, but in the South, back in her day, in their day, they called bags pokes, P-O-K-E, and she came here and she asked somebody for a poke and they laughed at her. They had no idea what she was talking about, but it was just a paper bag. But yeah, he has a very, very deep accent. It's funny how there's different accents in different parts of the world. It's just, I just find it all so funny. So I'm going to take a peek here. So I do like that. So we're going to pull that up there, and it's just a real light red, just barely. And I am going to give, I'm going to do the bridges first, and then I'll do a light sanding. So let me get one of my liner brushes. 0, I wonder where my 0 is at. That's a 2, which the Stencil Smith liner brushes are really, really nice. And black is the absolute best of the bridges to close. So I'm going to just get a little bit of paint, and I just kind of, so I don't get a big lot of it. And let's see. So the bridges are these little, if you're new, the little spaces like that E there, the K, where they have to put little pieces of Mylar so it doesn't, the inside part doesn't fall out. White can be super tricky, but black is really, really forgiving. It looks really pretty when you finish them. You don't have to. I went for years before I even filled in a bridge. And April is the one who encouraged me to do it. And she wanted me to kind of highlight it and teach it occasionally. So since we have actual time today, like, holy cow, how did that happen? 2 projects. Oh, I shouldn't count my chickens for the hatch because I still have to put my handles on too. I cut them right before the live. I was sawing away with my little razor knife, cutting through that leather, and hopefully I got it good. So you can, I try to go away towards me, because otherwise you're going this way and you end up putting your hand in the paint, the wet paint, and I've done it before, and then you move it on up your board, and then you got to wipe it. A wet wipe works fine, but you still got to do it nonetheless. And once I get a little gob of paint, I usually do offload it. I don't mush down on my brush, but I just tap it, so I don't have a big gob of paint when I lay my brush down. And sometimes it's different angles, like if you move your board around, it can be easier to close a bridge. It's a strange thing. I do like closing bridges. I'm one of those weird people. It is stressful on white though, because white can be a pain in the butt. And get a little bit more paint there. And I usually forget one of the bridges. Not all the time. So I want to go up here and I want to do these little bridges. So see how quick that was? That didn't take hardly any time at all. Especially once you get the hang of it. You can practice it on paper or cardboard. Just till you get the hang of it, but it's really not that hard. Try to use the appropriate size liner brush for your bridge. But I've only had to load this the once. And hopefully I'm not putting, I think I got all those. I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to tap, just barely tap these little skinny ones. Need to come down here. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't move the board around. I got carried away. I apologize. But you're just filling that in just a wee little bit. And then we'll do some distressing and add some handles. But this could be another really pretty tray to set out with like some gourds, stuff like that, to decorate the center of your table for Thanksgiving. Wreaths. Oh, that didn't go very dark there. I didn't even know what word that was. That E didn't, I don't know if I missed it on the stencil. But see how easy that is? That probably took me maybe 5 minutes. And those little skinny ones are easy, even when it's white, because they just fill in so easily. You just barely have to touch your brush in there. And it fills them in. It's really nice. And like I said, you do not have to do this. Which it's funny, my sister, for being total opposite of me, and I mean, we love crafting, but like kind of more of a type A person, she hates filling in bridges, and I really like it. So let me rinse my brush out. Don't ever put your liner brush in water. Bring it to a point, rinse it out, and bring it to a point. You can also, it's kind of blurry. Let's see, there we go. But you can bring it to a point. Don't ever let these sit in water because it will ruin them. And so we've got, see how pretty that is? We've got the bridges all filled in there. It's distressed. I'm going to give it, and something like this, I would use probably beeswax on it. In case somebody would want to put food on this tray. And of course you could also make this not a tray. You could just hang it up. Now you fill it. It's like once you start, Patty, you can't stop. You really can't. So I just want to make sure that's good and dry. You want to make sure it's dry before you start like giving it a light sand. Now you can always use, which I don't know where it's at. Oh, there's some. So like packing paper, I use this lots of times. This is like your finest of sandpaper. But right now I'm going for a little bit more of a distressed look than that. So I'm going to use my fine sandpaper. I'm just real lightly kind of go over it. I just want the letters to be a little, like, not so solid. I want them to be a little weathered looking like the board. So if you can see, like if I bring the Harvest up there close, see how that, just that little bit of sanding, I did it really lightly. See how it made little marks in it, so it makes the lettering look like it's weathered as well. And let me get my, okay. So I got my little screwdriver. Hopefully this one works. I've been using this a lot, my electric screwdriver. I have one of these. So these are the leather. I got the leather on Amazon, and I'm going to put, I've pre-drilled holes on the side here. And I went, I think when I looked, 3/4 of an inch in on the ends, if you can see there. So I measured 3/4 of an inch in, and then they're on center. And then I already started I drilled holes in this leather. I cut them the same size. There was no rhyme or reason to the size, just what I thought looked good. They're cut about, let me see, about 12.5 inches long. So about 12.5 inches long. And you can, this is thinner, like this is a belt. This is probably one of the belts I had left from Walmart that I used on one of my projects. But see how this is a little bit thicker? This is a little bit thinner. So just a little bit thinner than, I think it's about 1 inch maybe. No, it's about 3/4 of an inch. So it's a little bit thinner. But you can totally get a belt from Walmart too, in the kids department or something like that. So I am going to, let me see if I still have a mark because I painted on it. Well, let's see here. I'm gonna get that started in the hole here. Oh, I may have to get a screwdriver, I don't know. Oh, no, there it goes. This is so nice when I get it to work just the way it's supposed to. And I did make it so the bottom of the strap came to the bottom of the board. That's just how I did that. And I'm going to put one on this side. And I'll have to get a screwdriver and probably tighten it. I know it sounds like it's stripping it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to tighten these up, but I've got it in there. Let me get a Phillips head. And those are just drywall screws. I use those a lot. They're really, really nice screws. And they have a really good grip on them. And they're also kind of like a charcoal color. So they're not silver, but these drywall screws look really nice, but I'm going to tighten it in there really good. And I'm going to tighten this one in here. Ooh, this one isn't as far down. And I did pre-drill the holes in the wood. So it would go in, but it's making that noise because of the leather. Okay, so we got those two. We got that strapped on. So I'm going to come down here and do this strap down here. And again, it's the same thing. I cut it the same distance. There we go. Just supposed to hit it real slow. It's what my sister tells me. There we go. And lots of times you should not tighten your screws until you got them all in, but this is not going to make any difference. Oh, except I got it upside down. Huh. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Does this go in reverse? Okay, I gotta loosen this just a little bit. Were you guys yelling at me? I know white bridges are horrible. Come on, I just gotta get enough to turn. There we go. There we go. So don't do like me. Don't be silly and put it the wrong way. I had it upside down. I'm looking. I'm like, that's not right at all. After I tightened it down really good, it's like, okay. And then I'm just going to flip this over here. I figured you guys were like hollering at me. And I think that's fine, Donna. Whatever way you like them, that's the way you should do them. I really like closing the cursive because it does make it flows really nice. Okay. And let's give this a nice tight, now that I know it's the right way. So we've got the handles. See how cute that is? Is that not adorable? And wouldn't that look cute sitting on your table? I'm gonna put you up here, but we've got the little acorn hollow. We've distressed it and we put little leather straps for something different. You could put, I had thought about, you know, you could put the pretty Hobby Lobby, which I use them a lot. Matter of fact, I have a whole thing of them. You could put these on the bottom, or some black ones would look really pretty on this. I love these. And then you could also, something like this, you could use instead of leather straps. Let's see. You know, like on the bottom there, that would be really pretty. These are from Hobby Lobby. They have the cutest little knobs and stuff like that. And you could also get like flat cabinet knobs, and you could put them in this way and make it like a little riser, or get like little wooden, golly, I forget what they're called. I know the name of them. You get them at Walmart. I get them at Walmart. Really cheap, but those would look really cute too. And you could make it like a little little riser for your table. But I think any of those would look really pretty. And like I said, I would, if this was going to be used for food, I would use beeswax on it. But I think a knob, a handle. Do you like the leather handle on it? I thought it really was a little bit different on it. And they're very sturdy. So we've got that, we did that, we did this. I need to wax this. I'll probably close the bridges too after the live, but I'm not going to do that now. And you know, look how cute that would be sitting on your table by all your pies. Yes, and you could also just not put any handles on it, and you could make it as a shelf sitter, which would be really pretty too. And these are both small size stencils. They're both 15% off today and tomorrow. And then if you use my code SIGNSHACK, SIGNSHACK, you can save an additional 15%. So you could even get a couple different sizes if you wanted. I do have some stencils that I wanted to show you today for like our little show and tell. And then we will draw the winner. If you have not sprinkled, make sure to sprinkle. This is the stencil that we're giving away for sprinkling. Thanksgiving, bringing dysfunctional families together since 1621. Oh, that's okay, Donna. My sister does the same thing lots of times. She's usually making dinner. On Tuesdays, I'm lucky. Usually Jeff makes dinner. He already grilled some salmon, so. But this is really cute. And this was, I told you before the live, I don't know what I did with the other one. There was another Thanksgiving one I had. Oh, it's right here. This is the giveaway. just sprinkle and write sprinkle. But these two were really hot sellers at the craft show. They were on the towels, and we sold every one of them. Every single one of them we sold. And people were asking for Thanksgiving stuff, which I thought was strange, but not, you know, not fall specific, but Thanksgiving. The 1621 stencil. I don't know which one that is. 1621. Is that this one? Is that the one you're talking about? Because I know this is a really oldie one. That one there. But I am going to show you a couple stencils here that I bought. I haven't had time to do any of them, but I always have good intentions. So this one, I actually asked April, Angelia, she posted this quote on her page from Practical Magic, and I was like, oh, I need that in a stencil. And of course April agreed because she loves Practical Magic too. But I thought and I don't think I showed these to you last time, but look at that. My darling girl, when are you going to realize that being normal is not necessarily a virtue? It rather denotes a lack of courage. Aunt Frances. And then it's got the witch's hat with the little flower overlays and the leaves and stuff. And by the way, Practical Magic. Yeah, it's really weird. It's so weird, I think. I know everybody's like, Thanksgiving, huh? But it was hot. So 10195. This one is 10195, and this is the 11.25 inch one. And I really like it. And Practical Magic is coming out with a number 2. If you haven't seen the first one, watch it. It's really cute. It's got Sandra Bullock in it, and Nicole Kidman and Stockard Channing, and I forget who the other girl is, but it's a fun one. Now this one I absolutely love, and I didn't get this before our show. I wanted to put this on a pillow for the show, and this one is just absolutely gorgeous. It's so pretty. This is stencil number 10188, and this is a 12 inch, and this is the Harvest Moon. So see the Harvest Moon there? It says Harvest Moon. It's got the moon with all the vines and the flowers on it. It's so pretty. So it's got the overlay. You know, there's the moon, and then there's the overlay, and it's just, oh, it's so pretty. So, so pretty. Yeah, they're filming it, I think. But you ordered it immediately? That's funny. They just finished filming. Well, Angelia, you are the one who gave me the idea. I saw that on your page, and I was like, I want that as a stencil. And I know somebody who can make that happen. Which April doesn't do custom orders, but she does take suggestions, which is really nice. So this one is super cute too. This is 10187, and this is a medium. Pumpkin Hollow Inn, Enjoy Fall Nights, Fright Delights, since 1791. A gourd place to rest your head. So it's a gourd, I don't know if you can see the words there, gourd place to rest your head. But I love these pumpkins. They're just so fun. These scary pumpkins. It reminds me of like Ichabod Crane. And I know she's got some of those, like the Headless Horseman and stuff like that. But you know, like look at all the curlicues, just all the details that go into her stencils, and they make them super special. Really, really special. And then this is the last one I'm going to show you. This is just super cute. I don't know if I've seen anybody do this. I think somebody might have done this. But this is an owl, and it's Who's Ready for Fall. And look at that owl. So it's like for a round. I got it for the, but you can see it with the overlays. Who's Ready for Fall? And what's really nice about your stencils, if you are new and you don't know anything about the Stencil Smith, is every stencil has a number on it. Like this will say 10161. It's an extra large and 3. That means it has 3 pieces. And even when your stickers fall off after doing, you know, after cleaning them, after you've done it, see that number 3 there? It's still engraved, so you know what overlay is what. It's hard to see, but there we go. I get it right in that ring light. There we go. So that's really nice, because I've had them where I've had them hanging, waiting to be done, and all of a sudden they give away, and I have a big mess, and those numbers really help when you're putting them back together. So if you have sprinkled today, which means to do that, we are going to, curious on, okay, so Renee, I'm going to show you like that one. These are really heavy, but let me show it real quick, April, before you draw. And when I say they're heavy, I mean they're heavy. And this is the, well, this one's not so heavy because I think I've only got, I don't even have one in it. I had one in it, but I think I took it out. But these you can get on Amazon, and these are pricey. I think this one is like $35. This is the biggest size. This is 18, should say on here somewhere, 18 by 20 or something like that. Maybe it says on the side, 18 by 24. And this is huge. So your round will definitely go in it, and they have black papers in it. So your stencil will show up on that black paper, and you could put two leaners next to each other. You could put one of the rounds, and sometimes you can put a round with something up here, like something like this could go up here. But these are really nice. That's the biggest size I have, and once you get the stencils on it, they're really, really heavy. I'm like, I wonder how old I'm going to be able to move those around. But the smaller ones, just to give you an idea, I have stuff everywhere, guys. And these are even heavy. But so this is my most favorite size. This is 12 by 18, this one right here. And it's the same thing, you can get them on Amazon. But you can see when you open it up, see the black, and you can get a couple a page. And you can just flip through it really nice and easily to see what you have, because I had so many, I was having a problem. I was storing them on these boot clips, which were great for a while, and I do put mine on that I'm going to do and hang them over there, but I had too many, so they were falling off and I couldn't sort through them. So this is a really, really nice option. Like I said, this is my favorite size, and then they have smaller sizes for like your smaller stencils and minis, but this is a tray. These are fairly big. So those are really, really nice, just to give you some ideas, because it makes a difference when you're trying to store all this stuff. I almost tripped. Okay, so now we're going to pull the winner. Yes, it's a great idea, and it's real easy to just grab it and flip through it, and everything's at your fingertips, and it shows up really great on that. That's a good idea, Susan. I have committed to this way, but I have to keep buying more. So I don't know where my stencil is that you're going to win, but it's the Thanksgiving one. Dysfunctional families, there it is. I thought I put it over here. So Thanksgiving, bringing dysfunctional families together since 1621. Yes, I've done that like on the stained glass ones and stuff like that. Yes, Donna, I organize them by theme. It's 18, or no, wait. The second one is 12 by 18. 12 by 18, and they're Sooe's. S-O-O-E-Z. I can put the link in the description above if you want. After the live, I'll put the link up there. Maggie, I'm going to put the link in the description above. So after this post, I'll get the link off of Amazon and I'll put it up there. so you can see, and there's many different sizes, but they really make a difference. So April's spinning the wheel, and it landed on Patricia Brown. So Patricia, I'm losing my voice, guys. Patricia Brown, that's an easy name too. You are the winner of this wonderful stencil. Yes, Maggie, I will put it in the description after the live. So all you have to do is, after this live's over, you can go up to the description of this live and the link will be there. If you just give me a minute, I'll get it up there. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next week, and we'll have another fun project next week. And I appreciate everybody so much. Have a great evening. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.